Federal government launches cash transfer scale-up program, trains people living with disability. Senate confirms EFCC chairman and other two nominees. Over 500 million naira expired on wholesome products destroyed by NAFDAC. Good evening and welcome to NTA Jebode News at 7. My name is Famoyegun Temidayo. The federal government has launched the renewed Hope Conditional Cash Transfer Scale-Up Program, which will see 15 million vulnerable Nigerians get 25,000 naira each for 3 consecutive months. President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, flagged off the program to commemorate the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. State House correspondent Musbao Dan Wahab reports.
National Day for the Eradication of Poverty, the world is calling attention to the grueling conditions of people trapped in extreme poverty. But here, in Nigeria, is a government already demonstrating understanding of the people's travails being compounded by the fuel subsidy removal. These ones representing the category of 15 million vulnerable Nigerians captured in the social register to be assisted through the challenging times with 25,000 naira each in the next 3 months.
It will go a long way because you cannot pick this type of money on the road. We are privileged to get this, and it must help us to alleviate poverty in the family.
This money, I would take it to boost my business. Because I sell accessories, phone accessory and repair of phone.
With this as an example, the government says its objective to lift millions of Nigerians out of poverty is not just a slogan, but a resolve backed with genuine commitments.
Our plans for food security, ending hunger, poverty eradication, economic growth, and job creation are all means by which we shall fight poverty and help the most vulnerable members of our society.
There would be an expansion of this register which would carry the vulnerable pensioners, the vulnerable veterans and the wives of fallen heroes, as well as other areas of concern where they were not fully captured. But however, we're starting, and what we're starting with are those who have been verified across all the states in Nigeria.
Apart from this, Nigerians have more to expect as the government says it is finalizing more solutions and interventions, including renewed hope programs for job creation, national homegrown school feeding, MSMEs, and the national alternate school program, among others.
Of course, it's very important this cash transfers work only if they are robustly delivered and reach the people in need.
So Nigerians can rest assured that this is an efficient and accountable way of providing relief to poor Nigerians.
We're going to collaborate with the agency and the ministry to make sure the people that are meant to benefit from this program are the actual beneficiary of it.
But while taking the lead, the government wants a sustained collaboration of Nigerians and the private sector in the war against poverty in Nigeria. From the State House, Musbao and Wahab, NT News.
In the meantime, the federal government is committed towards enhancing the well-being of people living with disability in entrepreneurial skills through Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN. Kayode Oladosu reports that the capacity building program focused on grants and growth support for business, membership organization, and trade association in Oshogbo, Osun State capital.
Full social and economic inclusion of persons with disabilities contributes certain setback to their socio-economic development. To address this hindrance, the federal government, through Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, has trained and provided grants to selected business owners and artisans living with special needs in Oshogbo.
Motivated us is the fact that they are Nigerians that are in business. and ultimately is to take people off the streets. We don't want people to be begging. In their disability, they are doing wonderful things. Some are in the shoe cluster here in Osogbo. Some are into tie and dye here in Osogbo. Some have Braille Center where they do books for people that are physically impaired. So we have a lot of people doing wonderful things despite their disability.
Felicia Abidoye, a desktop publisher, says this hand of fellowship is another avenue for her to upgrade her business and participate fully to the economic development of the society.
What we have been taught in this maiden program is really encouraging and really helps a lot. We learned a lot about how we can deal with people in our businesses.
As it is, I will add it to my business. Now, I will try to buy a little bit of birds and their food, other materials we are using for rearing the birds.
SMEDAN, an agency of the federal government, reiterated that the agency will not relent in nurturing and growing nano, micro, small and medium enterprises in the country. In Osogbo, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
Nigeria is set to launch the human papillomavirus vaccine on the 24th of this month. Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shoaib, and his counterpart, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, disclosed this at a joint press briefing in Abuja. Aman Jabani reports that the vaccine is free but not compulsory for girls between ages 9 and 14.
Human papillomavirus (HPV) is a common sexually transmitted infection and is a silent indicator of several types of cancers, including cervical cancer, which stands as the second most common cancer among women in Nigeria. Cervical cancer is the second most common cause of cancer-related fatalities among women aged 15 to 49 years. It is in the light of this that the national launch of the HPV vaccine is believed will reduce the 12,000 new diagnoses, 18,000 lives claimed each year, and 22 deaths every day in Nigeria.
The vaccine. Alongside our partners and donors, we have secured over 6 million doses of the HPV vaccine and essential supplies. We have conducted numerous fora to raise awareness among stakeholders, including parents and caregivers, regarding the pivotal importance of HPV vaccination.
In line with its mandate to protect public health, NAFDAC is committed to ensuring the safety, quality, and efficacy of the Gardasil vaccine, and we continue to monitor its impact and performance in Nigeria.
The vaccine will be administered in 2 phases. The first phase will cover 16 states, while the second phase will cover the other states. In each phase, it will initiate a 5-day campaign and then continue routine vaccination within health facilities for the same age grade. And by 2025, it is anticipated to transmit to full routine immunization with the HPV vaccine focusing on girls. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
In keeping with its resolve of speedy approvals of executive requests for engaged efficiency of governance, Senate today confirmed the appointments of 3 nominees to head the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the National Social Investment Program Agency. Let's join National Assembly correspondent Glami Ali for the details.
So Senate has just concluded the exercise of screening and confirming the appointments of 3 nominees of Mr. President. First, it was the National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program Agency, NSIPA, Mrs. Halima Shehu, and then the 2 appointees to head the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. That is the chairman of the commission, Ola Olukoyode, and the secretary, Muhammad Hamanjuda. Now, yesterday, the communication of Mr. President, 2 letters were transmitted to the Senate on this screening and confirmation, which were read during plenary by President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and then 24 hours after this exercise was conducted. It is in line with the provisions of the laws establishing these two agencies of government, and the senators during the confirmation hearing asked very, very extensive questions that had to do with the functions of the agencies and how they are going to improve on what is already on ground. If it's EFCC, how the agency is going to improve on the fight of the federal government on corruption, and then the NSIPA for social welfare, how that is going to impact on the lives of Nigerians. So, and earlier, before the screening exercise commenced, we also had the Senate President announcing some appointments, that is to fill the vacancy of the Deputy Majority Leader that was appointed as a minister by Mr. President, that is David Umahi. Now the Senate President has announced someone to take up that position, that is Senator Lola Ashiru from Kwara State. He was before now the Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate, and today he has been appointed as the Deputy Majority Leader of the Senate. Also appointed into the leadership or the principal officer position of the majority leadership of the Senate is Senator Webonyi from Ebonyi State. He has now been appointed as the Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate to take up the place of Lola Ashiru, who has been elevated to the position of the Deputy Majority Leader. So this is what the Senate did today. It's back to you in the studio.
The Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, has called on the National Assembly to put in place relevant laws that will promote scientific innovation to propel industrial revolution, national growth, and development. He stated this during a visit by chairmen and members of the House Committee on Science and Technology to the ministry. National Assembly correspondent Amina Saidu has details.
Science and technology is key to the development of any nation, with the role of wealth creation, economic development, and transformation of societies. To this effect, the Minister said youths must be given the technical skills to enhance development and promote self-reliance.
Those who are unskillful, we must bring them out and get them back to the school so that they can be reoriented in terms of their intellectualisms and whatever you have, so that they can think better, to see such softwares that they are developing in their own room. How can they develop it to assist average farmer, to assist watermelon seller, to assist everybody in doing and transacting our normal businesses?
Chairman House Committee on Science and Technology agreed that the House is ready to collaborate with the Ministry to ensure an all-encompassing journey through the digital world.
We start catching them young, start giving them that advocacy, ensuring that teachers are well trained to understand that technology is the way forward.
The good news is that the Ministry of Education has also keyed into the presidential 8-point agenda of moving the country forward and backing education with technological skills they all agreed is the way forward. From the National Assembly, Amina Saidu, NTA News.
In the same vein, freedom of the Nigerian media and value reorientation among the citizens topped the agenda at an engagement between the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, and staff of the National Orientation Agency and the Nigerian Press Council. Saliu Guanara reports that the minister also promised to transform the ministry and its agencies to meet the aspiration of the citizens.
Headquarters of the National Orientation Agency was the first port of call by the minister and his team on the last day of the official familiarization visit to the 8 agencies under the watch of the ministry. growing collective effort to explore the agency's core mandate of championing national rebirth was brought to the fore.
Our dear country is in dire need of change in values, in lack of respect for constituted authorities, in ever increasing wave of cultism, banditry, fraud, cybercrime.
It is important for Nigeria to go back to the old ways, remember those symbols that help us to keep our country together and to remind us of the direction that this country should move towards. That there's going to be a national conversation around this value orientation or reorientation, as you will, in this country. And I think that is the starting point. Almost every aspect of our national life is being determined by our own character.
Came from Lagos.
Highlight of the minister's visit to National Orientation Agency is a visit to this particular office of late President Shehu Shagari, where he operated from as Nigeria's president between 1979 to 1983. At the headquarters of the Nigerian Press Council, the minister restated the administration's desire for press freedom.
While the Nigerian press or the Nigerian media is desirous to be free, we also count that freedom in a way and manner that will also be responsible. But like I said, there will be no attempt, not under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will the press not be free.
Here, what we do is research of content analysis of every newspaper.
The minister assured that the outcome of the visit will add value to the ongoing transformation in building a new Ministry of Information and National Orientation. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
We'll be back shortly after the mid-break. Please stay tuned.
Hey, Iskilu, báwo la ti fẹ́ sanwó ni? Farabalẹ̀. 1,000. We go once play tire o. Farabalẹ̀ now.
Madam, èló lówó wa?
Brother, na 3,005.
Màá fún yín ní owó òpè káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000.
Oh yeah.
Bring your phone.
Ha! 10,000.
1,000 naira credit. Now you turn to 10,000.
No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete 10 times rẹ.
I told you. Now what go tell?
And Control NAFDAC has destroyed substandard, falsified, expired, and unwholesome regulated products worth over 500 million naira. Haman Jabani reports that some of the drugs were seized from drug hawkers.
The product destroyed include drugs made up of psychoactive and controlled substance, antibiotics, vegetable oil, 1 food container of unregistered Foresia instant powdered milk handed over to the agency by the Nigerian Customs Service, cosmetics, chemicals, expired and unwholesome products voluntarily handed over by compliant companies, non-governmental organizations, and associations of community pharmacy of Nigeria. Director General of NAFDAC, who was represented, said this is the result of adopting a proactive approach by engaging political, traditional, and religious leaders, media, and other Nigerians on the dangers of dealing with substandard and falsified medicines.
There are products that are meant that have expired, that are also violative in the sense of being unwholesome. Also, there are products, most of them seized from people who are criminally minded, who are carrying out illegal activities of distributing these unwholesome and falsified products.
Stakeholders say they will continue to work with NAFDAC for the good of the nation while calling on Nigerians to support government agencies in safeguarding the country.
You know, SON and NAFDAC are sister agencies. So when it comes to the area of regulation, SON and NAFDAC actively collaborate.
and we are here to present all the expired drugs that are domiciled within the community pharmacies. We brought them together and have brought it to NAFDAC for this destruction today, so that it will not find its way back into the circulation.
The estimated street value of the product destroyed is over 500 million naira. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Understanding the call of duty for effective leadership is the focus of a meeting between the Chief of the Air Staff and Nigerian Air Force commanders of units and formations, who are being charged to lead in line with the changing security climate. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani reports.
Men of military might, men of character and true grit, with various formations and units at their command. Appraising their current performance in their various units and formations to boost security operations is the focus of this military gathering.
I therefore expect frank, robust and insightful conversations and inputs that will reposition the Nigerian Air Force for more effective service delivery. The dynamic nature of our current contemporary security challenges demands continual review and updates in strategies to counter threats to our national security.
For you to be effective as a military commander and leader, you must also be a good manager of human and material resources at your disposal.
Evolution is the watchword, and the Nigerian Air Force, recognizing the evolving nature in global trends and how this makes a huge impact on security, is tackling this. To ensure that these issues are being addressed, it is also adopting the strategy of constantly monitoring and evaluating its performance.
The Chief of the Air Staff will also address policy issues to streamline air operations. It is expected that the lessons learned here will make a greater impact for greater national security. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
Here ends the news tonight. Good night.